Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am talking to you guys about my November TBR, and I have a lot to unpack in this video, so grab a snack so we can talk about it. So I have about like 3 different kinds of goals going on this month. My very first and biggest goal this month is to do part of my TBR cleanout project. This is a project that is inspired by Books and Lala here on YouTube. I will link her channel and her similar videos to what I'm talking about down below. She does this whole thing where she has an actual like closet of books that she's collected over the years, and she this whole past 10 months or so has been doing a series where she goes back and she watches her book hauls from the same month, I think 2 years ago, and she has to read all of the books from that month, and I think she gets 1 save out of anything that she hasn't read yet. And I really like that idea. Mine is going to be a little bit different. Instead of an actual physical set of books that I'm going through and book haul videos, because I don't have those, I am doing this based on my Goodreads list. So if you have Goodreads or are familiar with it, you might know how this works. But on your Goodreads, once you add a book, you can see on your shelf what date you added that book. And I started my Goodreads account in August of 2014. So in August of this year, 2017, I decided that I was going to start this cleanout project. So anything that's left on my Goodreads list to read that was added in August of 2014, 3 years ago, I have to finish by the end of that current month. And this time I'm giving myself 2 saves. And one of the saves can be a standalone book and one can be a series. So can't have 2 standalones, can't have 2 series. These are the restrictions I'm setting for myself. Now, I haven't been doing this clean out for the last 2 months on my TBR because I didn't have any books to clean out those months, luckily. And so this month I have a lot. So we're going to unpack those in this video. In addition to my clean out project, I'm participating in 2 readathons this month. I did my very first readathon last month in October, and that was Spookathon, which was a lot of fun. I really liked it. I vlogged the process. You can check it out if you want to or haven't yet. But this month I'm doing Borrowathon and Tome Topple. The reason I'm deciding to participate in these this month is because they match up really well with the books that I need to clean out of my TBR, so it works out really well. So I am going to be going into my TBRs for those readathons in this video as well. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit of a long one. So let's start with some audiobooks that I am going to be reading this month, and all of these are ones that are on my November clean out for ones I added in November of 2014 that need to be read by the end of this month, and I only get 2 saves. So the first audiobook that I want to read this month is Legend by Mary Lou, and I'm actually almost done with this. I'm filming this video on November 6th, so I'm already partway into the month. But I think I got an hour and a half left of this audiobook, and I'm really liking it so far, so I'm interested to see if I still feel the same way at the end of the book. My second audiobook I actually do have a physical copy of because I was planning on reading a physical copy of this, but my clean out of this book snuck up on me, and it is available on audiobook, and I can read audiobooks a little bit quicker because I have a typical desk job, and so I can listen to audiobooks while I work, and that decreases my physical count of books that I need to read this month because there's just a lot. I have read one other book by this author and I really enjoyed it. I think it was the A Thousand Splendid Suns, I think was the other one I read, and I really liked it, so I'm interested to read more from him. And I know that this is a popular, I think it's the most popular book of his. I think there's a movie as well. Don't quote me on that, but I'm excited to read it. My fourth audiobook is going to be The Selection by, is it J.R.R. Class, I believe. This is a book series that's kind of interesting here on BookTube and on Goodreads. Most people who enjoy it say that it's still pretty shitty, I guess, but they still like it. It's one of those, it's not an objectively good book, but it's fun to read kind of thing, so I'm interested to see how I feel about it. And then my fourth audiobook for the month is Graceling, which I don't know a lot about this, except I believe there's some magic and kingdoms involved, or possibly just the kingdom part. Not 100% sure. I'm going into it just a little blind. So before we get into the readathon TBRs that I want to discuss, I want to talk about a few books that I have that are owned books that I want to read in between my 2 readathons going on this month. The first one is Vampire Academy, and I actually just recently picked this up at a book sale. I previously didn't own it until I think a week ago, and I have actually already finished this one, so I'm not going to tell you too much about it. I did like it. I'll be continuing with the series, but I will talk more about my thoughts in my wrap-up. The second owned book that I want to read this month is The Fellowship of the Ring. This is actually a 50th anniversary edition that has all 3 books in it that my husband has, and so I am borrowing it from him to read the first book, and I've already got, I think a third of the way through-ish, and so I will be continuing this as well. And I love the movies. I have always loved the movies of this, but I've never actually read the book. I have read The Hobbit, but not Fellowship of the Ring, so I'm enjoying it so far, although it is very dense. And it's not easy to read in big chunks all at once. Like Vampire Academy, I read like that, and this has taken me a little bit longer to slog through, but I'm still enjoying it. It's just, Tolkien's like that. He just takes a lot out of you as you're reading. And then the last owned book that I want to read this month is Timeline by Michael Crichton. I really enjoy Michael Crichton's books. I have read quite a few of them at this point, and I always like them, and I love this movie. It's not like an objectively good movie maybe to a lot of people, but I really enjoy it, so I'm excited to see how the book differs from the movie. Alright, so now let's get into my borrow-a-thon TBR. The concept of this readathon is that you only read books that you borrow either from the library or from friends, so it's just books that you don't already own, essentially. So the first book that I am reading for borrow-a-thon is Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. I have read quite a few Neil Gaiman books, and I really enjoy them. However, I've never read Terry Pratchett before, so I'm interested to see how their combo works in this book. And from what I understand, there's like angels and demons involved. I have already started it, but I'm only like 2 chapters in, so I'm still learning what's going on. But I love that kind of stuff, and I like Neil Gaiman, so I'm excited to read more of this. And I believe it's like a TV show series is coming out in the near future, and David Tennant is in it, so I will instantly be watching because of that. Plus, it looks good. The cast is phenomenal, so I'm excited about that. My second borrow-a-thon pick is Stormfront by, I believe it's Jim Butcher, and I don't have a copy of that. I'll be picking it up on ebook once I finally get it off of hold from the library. I am next in line, so hopefully I will get it this month. And I believe, what is it? I think it's like a detective kind of thing, or like an adventure, mystery, something. I don't know a lot about it, but I'm gonna read it, hopefully. So my next pick for borrow-a-thon is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I have heard a lot about this series. A lot of people really enjoy it. I believe it's some sort of dystopian thing, but I don't know a whole lot beyond that. So I'm interested to see how I feel about it with how hyped it seems to be. And then my last physical book for borrow-a-thon is Rotten Ruin by Jonathan Mayberry. And I only really know that this is, I believe, about zombies. Other than that, I don't know a whole lot, but I like zombies, so I'm in. And I recently read World War Z and really liked it, and it kind of sparked my interest in reading more zombie stories, so we'll see how I feel about this one. And also during borrow-a-thon, I will be reading some of those audiobooks that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, because all of my audiobooks are borrowed from the library, so they count towards the readathon when I'm reading them during the readathon. Alright, so now let's talk about my second readathon for the month, and that is Tome Topple. And I will link the announcement videos for both of these readathons down below if you're interested in participating. However, the concept of Tome Topple is that you are meant to read your books that are over 500 pages, which are considered tomes. And the readathon for this, I think it's a 2-week readathon, which is interesting because most readathons range from a day to a week. I've never heard of a 2-week one, but I'm actually really excited for 2 weeks because over 500 pages books are a lot and they take a lot of time. So one of the books that I want to read this month for the Tome Topple is Leviathan Wakes, and this is the Expanse series. There is a TV show of this. I believe it's on Sci-Fi Channel. I watched the first couple episodes of the TV show, but I wasn't really that intrigued. I was a little bored. However, I've heard it picks up, so I might revisit it after reading this book. But this one counts as a tome because I believe it's a little over 500 pages. It is 561 pages, so that definitely counts. And then my second Tome Topple, and definitely my most ambitious want to read for the month, is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I have heard phenomenal things about this series, and so I really want to get to it because I don't want to have to take it off my TBR. But this is it's such a big book, guys. I think it's 1,007 pages technically, and it's just intense, guys. It's intense. We'll see if I can complete both of these in a 2-week period. I'm a little hesitant, but I'm gonna try really hard. Alright, so that wraps up my TBR for the month of November, including my TBR cleanout plan and both of the readathons I'll be participating in. Let me know what your TBR is for this month, or if you guys have a video, let me know and I'll go check it out. I love to read or watch people's TBR, so if you have a blog, link that as well. But it's an ambitious one this month, guys. I don't think I'm gonna get to all of them, but I'm gonna try really, really hard. So wish me luck. And I wish all of you luck, and if you're participating in either of the readathons that I am doing, hit me up on Twitter and we can talk through it and maybe do some sprints together. I know Borrow-a-thon is definitely doing sprints right now, but it's really fun to participate with other people while you're doing it. So let me know if you're participating in those. I would love to connect with you on it. And if you guys liked this video and enjoy my TBR videos, hit that like button down below. It really lets me know that you guys like these videos and that I should keep doing them. And if you want to see more of my videos, I do have book and beauty content. Please subscribe. I would love to have you join my Bookish Beauty family. And I will see you guys in my next video. Happy reading.